So, you want to know how to create a dynamic beam in Unreal Engine 4? And then take that endpoint and be able to move it around in-game? That's a great question. Let me show you how. So first, you want to start out by opening up a new level or a new project. Then go to a spot where you want to start making assets and right-click in the File Explorer. Go down to the FX tab and create a emitter, and choose the Dynamic Beam preset and then give it a nice name. You can choose to start with no template, but it's best to not try to reinvent the wheel here because templates are amazing. Now this step you want to customize your beam to be cool and whatnot, but right now I'm just going to make it red and turn down the delay so that it doesn't flicker. Now, if we go to the emitter setup tab right here, we see that the endpoint is a vector with X, Y, and Z values. Right now the default value is 200, 0, but we want this to be a variable that we can change with a blueprint. So to do that, you want to mosey on over to the User Exposed tab and click on that little plus sign and select the vector and call it something memorable like end lock. Then, drag it over to that beam end vector that we looked at before, and now it's linked to the variable. Make sure to save here. Then, to put this into the level, you're going to want to go ahead and create a Niagara particle system and scroll until you see the beam that we just created and select that. Now give that another nice name and then drag it onto the level, and now we can start working with blueprints. Now, if you try to play the level right now, it looks like it's not there, but that's just because it doesn't have an endpoint to draw to, so we're still good. Now, in the level blueprint, if we can drag a reference to this actor directly in, and from here we need to get the Niagara particle system component attached to it. To do that, grab the Get Component by Class node and select the Niagara component dropdown. Drag from the return value and create another node called Set Niagara Variable by string vector3. It's important that you choose the vector3 here because otherwise the data type won't match up. Type in the name of your variable in the variable namespace, so if you went with mine, it's endlock, and make sure you spell it right because if you don't, it won't give you an error, so it might be hard to figure out what's going wrong. Now, any vector input here will be the endlock value and in turn be the endpoint of the beam. To make this thing actually execute, we'll throw in an event tick to fire this thing up. Now, at this point, you can make that input anything you want. For example, you can use a make vector node with 200, 200, 0. But to demo this, I'll just create a simple circling motion for it. So what I did was I created 3 float variables: speed, radius, and degrees. By default, I set speed to 5 and radius to 200. On the event tick, I multiplied delta seconds from the event tick by speed and then added to the degrees. This will cause degrees to go up by a certain speed. With that, I took degrees and used cosine degrees and sine degrees, multiplied both of them by radius, and then attached cosine and sine to x and y. This should create that circular motion. And if you don't know why that works, you probably didn't pay attention in geometry. Now, if we compile and save, we see that beautiful circling beam right there. It's a little bit slow, but it'll get around. So hopefully this was helpful, and you don't have to re-watch this too many times to get this right, but thanks for watching and have a great day.